Welcome to the Arithmetic Clinic. So today we're going to be continuing from where we stopped in the last video. We have been talking about quadratic equation. So we have talked about the factorization method, talked about the completing the formula method. So today we are going to be talking about what? The completing the square method. So how do we make use of completing the square method to solve quadratic equation? So completing the square method. Now when we talk about completing the square method, so completing the square method means that we are trying to complete a square to get a perfect square. Now what we'll do is that I'll first of all teach us how that process works. So now let's say that, for example, we have an equation like this, a quadratic equation like this, and they say that we should complete this square. Now completing this square means that what can we add to this that will make this to be a perfect square? What can we add to this that will make it to be a perfect square? So when we say we want to make this to be a perfect square, it's like we want to make it to be in this form, where D is going to represent a number. So what can we add to this to make this to be like this? Right? Now look at it this way. A squared, so this is going to be A. So A squared plus 8A plus question mark is going to give us A plus D, A plus D. Now this is going to be A squared plus D squared. A squared plus what? AD plus AD plus D squared. Now, so A squared plus 8A question mark is what? A squared plus 2AD plus what? D squared. Now what we are simply saying is that we are saying that what are we going to add to this so that this equation and this equation becomes the same. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to say by comparison. By comparison, that is to say we are comparing this and what? This. Now looking at the first slide, we have A squared is the same as A squared. That's good. Now we also see that what? 8A is the same as what? 2AD. Now what you just do now is that we divide both sides by 2A, divide both sides by 2A, 2A cancel 2A, our D becomes what? A cancel A, this is going to give us what? 4. Now what it means is that this our D is what? 4. Now this question mark that we are looking for, that we wanted to add to this to make this a perfect square, is actually what? The same as what? D squared. Now what is our D squared? Our D is what? 4 squared. So what it means is that for us to make this a perfect square, it means that A squared plus 8A had to be added with what? 4 squared, which is going to give us A squared plus 8A plus what? 16. What it means is that to make A squared plus 8A to be a perfect square, we have to add 16 to it. And once you add 16 to it, the perfect square it is going to give to us is A plus D. Now what is that D? 4 raised to power what? 2. So that is what we are talking about, completing the square method. So we are trying to make something like this to what? Have what? A perfect, to be a perfect what? Square. Now let us go over to what? The full completing the square method. Now I'll get the question, and once I get the question, we are solving it with this method. Now the question we are going to be solving is, now we have n squared minus 7n plus 11 is equals to 0. Now looking at this, we are trying to solve this equation with what? Completing the square method. Now the first thing we are going to do is we take this to the other side. M squared minus 7m is equals to what? Minus 11. Just like we did before, we now ask ourselves that same question. What are we going to add to this to make it a perfect square? And mind you, if we are adding something to this side of the equation, for this equation to be balanced, we also have to add that same thing to the other side so that this equation will be balanced. Now, just as we have done before, we have something like this. Let me explain this here. So we are having m squared minus 7m. What are we adding? So that it is going to be what? M plus d, where d is a number. Now, it's now going to be m squared minus 7m plus question mark to be equivalent to m squared plus 2md plus d squared. Now, from that place, you can see by comparison, minus 7m is the same thing as well, 2md. Divide both sides by m, 2m, 2m. Now, m cancel m, this cancel this. So this is going to give us minus 7 over 2. Now, what of d squared? Question mark is what? D squared. So our question mark, what needs to be added is actually going to be what? Minus 7 all over 2 squared. So bringing this to this place, we have m squared minus 7m plus bracket what? Minus 7 all over 2 squared equals to minus 11 plus minus 7 all over 2 squared. Now, this becomes a perfect square, giving us what? M minus 7 all over 2 squared equals to what? Minus 11 plus minus 7 squared will give us 49. All over 2 squared will give us what? 4. Now, if that is done, we now have it this way. M minus 7 all over 2 squared is equal to LCM of 4 and 1 will give us what? 4. So we now say that, okay, 4 times, how many 1 do we have in 4? That's 4. So 4 times this will give us minus 44 plus 49. So this is going to give us what? M minus 7 all over 2 squared equals to what? This plus this will give us what? 5 all over 4. Now by the time we get to this place, we say square root both sides. Now by the time we square both sides, it will introduce the sign of plus minus. Now by the time we do that, we are going to now have this. We're now going to have m minus 7 all over 2 is equals to plus or minus square root of 5 all over what? 2, because square root of 4 is actually what? 2. So we take this to the other side. M is equals to 7 all over 2 plus or minus square root of 5 all over 2. So this is n is equals to what? 2, 7 plus or minus what? 5. So what this means is what? 7 plus root 5 all over 2 or 7 minus what? Root 5 all over 2. So once you press this on your calculator, you are going to get the final answer. So let's get another question that we can solve. It was the completing the square method. Now look at this next question. Applying the completing the square method to solve this. Next question. Now look at it this way. We have 21v is equals to 8v squared minus 9. We were asked to use the completing the square method to solve this. Now, for this case, we see that 8v, which is the quadratic, is on this side of the equation. We can bring it to this side. So it will be minus 8v squared plus 21v is equals to what? Minus 9. So the first thing to do is to what? Divide this side by minus 8, minus 8, minus 8. V squared is going to now be minus 21v over 8 is equals to minus cancel minus 9 all over 8. Now the next thing we are going to do is, what are we going to add to this to give us a complete square? So v squared minus what? 21v over 8. Now there is a simple way of doing it. What is the simple way of doing it? b all over 2a squared. This is what we need to be added to make this a perfect square. What is our b? Our b is what? Minus 21 all over 2a. That is 2 times 8, which is what? 16 squared. So that is now going to be what? 9 all over 8 plus minus 21 over 16 squared. Now by the time you do this way, so this will now be v minus 21 over 16 squared is equals to 9 over 8 plus minus 21 is going to give us 441 all over 16 is going to give us 256. Now it's now going to be what? V minus 21 over 16 squared is going to give us 256. 256. Now how many 8s can we find in 256? We are going to find 32 8s in 256. Now 32 times 9 is going to give us 9 times 2 is what? 18. Carry 1. 9 times 3 is what? 27. That is 288 plus what? 441. Now by the time we go to this way, we come this way, please. And when we come this way, so we have v minus 21 over 16 squared is equals to 288 plus 411 is going to give us 9. This plus this will give us what? 2. This plus this will give us this. All over what? 256. We square both sides. So plus and minus sign appears. So it will now be v minus 21 over 16 is going to give us plus or minus square root of 729. Let me see, that is 23 times 23. Can I get that? This times this is 9. This times this is what? 6. This times this is 6. This times this is 4. So 10 is 27. So 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 2 is what? 14. 14 plus that. So it should be 27. 27 should be there.
And now and I took down.
So 21 all over 16 plus or minus. So v is equals to what? 16, 21 plus 27 or what? 21 minus 27 all over 16. V is equals to what? 8, 48 over 16 or what? Minus what? 6 all over what? 16. So this is going to give us what? How many 16 do we have here? We have 3 or what? Minus what? 3 over 8. So that is how we go with what? The quadratic equation. Thank you very much.